Assalamualaikum class.
Walaikum.
Okay, first of all, I will ask about, do you have any questions regarding last assignments or tasks?
No, miss.
Zainab, what about you?
No.
Okay, cool. So today, now we will start lecture about our task number 3, that is learning outcome 3 about understand the implications of change in technology. We have to understand that what type of change we are implementing on technology and why we are implementing it. We have to understand that why there is a need of change and what change can bring us good or bad. It change will be for good or for bad. So first of all, we will see about explain the need for change. We will see what is the need for change. First of all, it is to ensure a modern workplace, to keep up to date with new technology, to keep up to date with competitors, to allow business to adapt. That business has to adapt a change in itself. Secondly, we will learn about carry out a change impact analysis. What does it mean? That what does change will do? We have to judge it. We have to see it. Who is the change going to affect? After changing, what thing is going to be affect, first of all? Then how will the change affect them? It is for good or it is for bad? And what measures can be taken to mitigate the impact of change? We'll be learning about these things. And the learning objective will be need for change and the changing process. So first of all, we will explain the need for change. So what do you think? Change is a good thing or a bad thing? According to business perspective. Yes, Abdullah?
I think it's a good. I think it's a good thing.
Good thing. But what type of change? Are we just seeing other people and start copying their processes without thinking? Or what should we do for a change? What should be our plan? I would ask rather. How we can make change in our organization?
We will create a different plan from others.
We will see that what we are going to do, which part need changings, and on what basis we are doing the changings. What is our base or what is our tool that we want to change? What we will replace? These are the basic things. Firstly, we have to plan. We have to do analysis. Okay. So why change management is crucial in today's workplace? Why changing the management or changing your technique is a crucial means it's a risk time, we can say, in today's workplace. In today's fast-paced business world, change is inevitable. It is important. Sometimes we don't need a change in if our organization is doing good. But if we think that it can be more good, then we should risk for a change. From the advent of new technologies to changes in market trends, business must adapt to stay competitive. This is where change management comes into play. Change management is crucial in modern business as it helps organizations navigate through transitions and implement changes effectively. Now, effective change management can lead to increased productivity, increased employee morale, and ultimately great success for the organization. Without proper change management strategies in place, businesses may struggle to keep up with the ever-evolving market and risk falling behind their competitors. Now, why change is important and why it is a crucial moment? I will give you the example. The main example is when the COVID period was going. So the working of a hotels and restaurants were almost shut down, right? At that time, and the markets or the people were so afraid to go out and buy something. So what at that time change occur? Many of the housemaid women, housewives started homemade things and try to sell them. How? Through a technology, using any food delivery websites or apps, right? So that was a change, and that change was for good. First we have to observe, know what people will think, how people will do, it will be easier for people or not. And same things have started with the restaurants and hotel also. They started home deliveries because restaurants were off. They started to work from home, but they didn't stop. So they were going into loss. Then they have seen that what is the main problem? Main problem is people can't go out. People can't leave their home. So why don't we provide them food at their doorstep? There were many persons who needed work at that time, who doesn't have the permanent jobs. So they have started delivery as a delivery man. So they have also made a difference with the precautions they have started because they have to earn a living for their families. So that is a change. The same changes with organizations. I would say before the websites and applications, all the, I would say, beauty products were sold at the shops. But in COVID, people think that no, why should we go? We can't go outside. It's risky. What did that organization or company did? They launched their apps. They launched online selling, right? So that was a change in management or change in a company, the how they will work. Through this, they got more and more orders because people can't go outside. They now even prefer, it's become a habit that sitting in your home they're ordering everything. That why should we go out when the thing can come itself? So it is a pace. No, that was a technology that people have used to improve their work, to continue their work. Okay, so these changings to implement effectively can let your organization and company be in a good space. So that is an effective change management. It can increase your productivity in and improve employee morale and ultimately greater success for the organization. Now without a proper change management, no, a person's there were many people who doesn't have these opportunities. What did they do? For example, we will take an example of a garment shop. A person with a garment shop, no one was coming in their shop. So what did they do? They placed all the clothes in a van, and they were just traveling where they could see that there is no police, I can say, or there is no any security in charge. They just open their van, and when they see there are more people here, they just start selling them at that place. In urban areas, many people pack their all of the things and they go to that villages and they sell their things. But what is the most effective way? The most effective way was an online selling. And through this, they can compete with their competitors also. Then next is understanding the process of change management. Now we have to understand the process of change management. Change management is a structured approach to transition individuals, team, and organization from a current state to a desired future state. Now they have structured an approach, they have set it a goal, and individual or as a team, the organization wants to improve from a current state to their goal state, their future state, what they have thought about it. It involves identifying the need of change, that where the need is important, where do we change, how can we change, and which part of an organization would be changed. Developing a plan to implement the change and managing the transition process. The process of change management typically includes several phases. There are many phases. It's not like that. It's just a matter of time that we can start a change within a second, or it can't happen. There is a proper process, such as assessing the need of a change. That what is the thing through which we have thought about changing? How changings come in our mind by watching or by experiencing what particular part. Then defining the scope of change, that how will the change will be good for us. Then developing a change management plan, that how will we change it, Then communicating the change to stakeholders. We will share our plan and or communicate with the stakeholders that what do they think. Then implementing the change and monitoring and evaluating the effectiveness of the change and how it is going. Effective change management requires clear communication, strong leadership, and willingness to adapt to changing circumstances. Now, whatever the result will, we will have to adapt the changing circumstances to ensure a modern workplace. In today's fast paced business world, change is necessity. Companies that fail to adapt risk falling behind their competitors and lose marketing share. The rapid pace of technological innovation, coupled with the ever evolving needs to customers, means that business must be agile and adaptable in order to succeed. Now, the businesses from far behind, we can say, are 50s or 60s, and the organizations or company or the era of today's technology. If we compare these both technologies or these both eras, nowadays technology has taken over. So it's the best thing that we should ensure a modern workplace that is continuing going, that is easy for peoples. It's not the last era. Now people have so many facilities. So you also have to step in that era. Keeping up with technology is just one reason why change is necessary. As new technologies emerge, business must be able to quickly integrate into their operations in order to remain competitive. Additionally, changes in the market and shifts in consumer behavior requires business to be flexible, responsive. By embracing change, companies can position themselves for long-term success. Now, for example, before these technologies, if something new was invented, it only shows on the shops. Now the people who don't go frequently to the shops doesn't know that what new technology, what new product has been launched. Okay, but because of new technology, everything is on news. Everything is on, you can say, us on a status. Every new updation you can access within a second. So you know what is the new product, what is the new technology, and what is going on in this world after a minute. You have the news of every minute. Why change is necessary? Same, because it is a world of technology now. So we should be, first of all, the part of it. And there is a saying that change according to the atmosphere is really good for your health. So whatever your field is, if there is a new technology, now we will take an example of cyber security, for example. Now, if there is a new antivirus and a new virus also, so if we are afraid that a new virus will create problem for our data, what will we do? We will adapt that new antivirus in our devices. So we have adapted a change to protect ourselves or to protect our privacy data. Now, change is an inevitable part of progress. In today's fast-paced world, it's more important than ever to keep up with the times. The workplace is constantly evolving, and those who are resistant to change risk being left behind. The people who doesn't adapt the changing are left behind. For example, we can say our elders who don't know how to use smartphones, but we know. No, if our elders want to go to somewhere, they all the way go to the main road and they wait for the bus or a taxi. But what do we do? Because we use our technology, we just book our ride and the car is at our doorstep. That is the difference. While change can be uncomfortable and even scary at times, it's necessary for growth and success. But embracing new ideas and technology, business can become more efficient, competitive, and innovative. Now, it is not must that change will also always bring a good phase for you. Sometimes it can be uncomfortable, it can be scary because there are cyber crimes. There are so much kind of cyber crimes. Our elders say that mostly when this type of situation whenever occur, that our time was good because there were no mobiles and there were no these uncomfortability and the scary times. We didn't have any worries about our data leaked out or our personal information. Everything would be in our hands, but today everything can be hacked. But as on the same page, people say that five fingers are not equal. So changing is bad also, but sometimes changing is good according to the business. When you plan everything, it can become more efficient, competitive, and innovative. To ensure a modern workplace, the modern workplace is vastly different from traditional work environments. In the past, employees were expected to work long hours in a rigid hierarchy with a little room for creativity and individuality. Today's workplace values collaboration, flexibility, and innovation. Now, when technology wasn't there, the people go to their offices and they have to work, or they have to submit the work by hand or written on the papers, and that is so much difficult. If there is some error, they have to write it the whole text again. But now, with this technology, with this change, that is so much easy that every person can, sitting by on in home or sitting anywhere, he can send mails and emails and sending their works. And if there is any error, it can just edit that part. It don't have to be edited whole and whole. So one of the key benefits of modern workplace is increased productivity and employee satisfaction by providing employees with more autonomy and opportunities for growth. Companies can create a culture that fosters creativity and encourages employees to take ownership of their work. So we should ensure to work on a modern workplace, because it can increase our productivity, it can increase the employees' satisfaction, it can be an easy atmosphere for the staff to keep up to date with new technology. Again, it's the same thing, that because world is going and we are living in this technology world, and if we are using our old versions, then it's not going to be worked. It's not any way good for us. So we have to update, because old thing doesn't last forever. We have to update ourselves with the community, we have to update our devices, we have to update our work, our nature. Everything should be changed with a matter of time, so we can walk in this era, we can be a part of this era. In today's fast-paced and ever-changing business environment, it is crucial to keep up with new technology. Embracing new technology can improve efficiency, productivity in the workplace, giving your company a competitive edge. New technology can also help you stay ahead of the curve in terms of customer services and satisfaction. For example, implementing a chatbot on your website can provide instant assistance to customers, improving their overall experience with your company. Now, as technology has improved and all the sellings are online, so there is also a chat box. Now, what is the reason of chat box? It's the reason that if some people have any confusion, any complaint, they can just add there, and you can instantly get a feedback from that person, from your customer, and you can improve it if the improvement is needed. Keep up to date with competitors. Now, if we are working, I would say, while studying in a university or a college or a school, even when we are a good student and we want to be on the first place, we will always see that what if why we are coming second, what the number one on the first place that student is doing. Is he doing an extra classes or a tuitions or extra help from anywhere? So keep up to date with competitors. We have to see which organization is going up, why it is going up, what the things are they may be using. So you have to keep up to date yourself with your competitors also. In today's fast-paced business world, it is more important than ever to stay up to date of your competitors. Falling behind can mean losing market share and revenue, as well as damaging your reputation in the industry. On the other hand, staying ahead of your competitors can bring many benefits, such as increased revenue, a larger customer base, and a stronger brand image. By constantly innovating and improving your products or services, you can differentiate yourself from your competitors and attract new customers. To allow business to adapt. Now we should allow our business, our organization to adapt that new technology by telling them the benefits. In today's fast-paced business world, adaptability is a key to survival and success. Businesses that are able to quickly pivot in response to changing market conditions are most likely to thrive than those that remain stagnant. to remain same doesn't work all the time. So business that up to date themselves according to the environment, according to the customers or users, are the main organization that can go further. Adaptability allows business to take advantage of new opportunities and respond to challenges with agility. By embracing change and being open to new ideas, business can stay ahead of the curve and maintain a competitive edge. Do you understand till slide number 12 or do you have any question?
I can understand.
Please speak louder. Abdullah, I can't hear you.
I understand. I said.
And what about you, Zainab? Do you have any question?
No, no questions.
Okay. Then we will talk about the risk of standing still. Okay, now Zainab, you tell me what would be the risk of standing still if we don't adapt new technologies, we don't upgrade ourselves. What would be the risk? Just give me the example of any organization or what examples come into your mind. Any real time example can also be there.
We would like be behind in trends, and then we would lose our customers due to not adapting to the new technologies, while the other companies are, and it makes it easier for
Give
the
me some
customers to use them.
example from your home. You can see at your home, you compare yourself and your elders, your grandparents, for example. Now, what would be the change? Because your grandparents didn't adapt that new technology and you have adapted. Give me the example of real time.
Okay, nowadays everything is basically done using the new technologies, using online.
Yes,
So it is easier for us to do it while at home, while our grandparents are not used to it.
yes.
So they don't. Yeah. So for them it's difficult to. And since everything is changed to online, there are many things that they wouldn't understand how to use the computer and everything to achieve their needs.
Yeah, that is also a good example, but I was asking from your home. Now, I will give you an example. Now, there are many machineries. For example, you can say, take an example of an oven. Now, it's just a matter of seconds and we can heat up anything without any efforts or without any there is no heat, we can don't feel heat. But if our older people don't know how to use oven, what would they do? They would on the stove. Now because of the stove fire they will feel suffocated also, right? They will feel hotness and then they have to wash all the crockery also, stencils also that they are using. That will be more work. Second example, the kneading machine. Now there is a floor kneading machine. Now we can just add water and flour at a time, but and that the rest of work will be of machine. But our elders don't know, and specifically our elders don't like that much machinery. They want to work with their hands, and there they will lose energy also. This is the home real time examples. Okay, Zainab, the online will be like websites and socially site. I was asking for a home example. So that is the risk from a real time example, I would say. And now we will read it out. The stagnation in the workplace can be dangerous thing. When companies fail to adapt to changing time, the risk falling behind their competitors and losing market share, this can lead to decreased revenue, layoffs, and even bankruptcy. In addition to financial consequences, standing still can also have negative effects on employees' morale and productivity. Without the new challenges and opportunities for growth, employees may become disengaged and lose motivation to perform at their best. Now, when people will say, for example, there are two companies, one company or two shops. One shop uses the online and dine in also, then people can go and shop and people can online order, and the second shop just offer to go and shop. So people will go, okay, one time people will watch things, no, we have to watch things and then we will purchase. But once people will visit the shop, the people will know that okay, now these two shops both have good things. But now, if it's raining, if it's hot outside, if it's dust outside, what will people do? They will more prefer the delivery shop. They will not go for the other shop. That's that shop will lose their customer. So that is the risk of standing still. Embracing change. Embracing change can be difficult, but it is essential for growth and success. Companies like Apple and Amazon have embraced change and seen incredible results. Apple started as a computer company but has since expanded to include smartphone, tablets, and other products. Amazon began as an online bookstore but now offers everything from groceries to streaming services. That is called a change. We have to take a risk, and then there will be more and more options if we go along the technology. These companies didn't shy away from change, they embraced it and used it to their advantage. By being open to new ideas and willing to take risks, they were able to stay ahead for a competition and become industry leaders. Embracing change can be scary, but the rewards are worth it. Now I will give you an example of a boutique. Now, if there is a girl who wants to start her boutique, but she don't have so much dresses to show, what will she do? She will just stitch one by one dresses. She will save those pictures and she'll stitch their dresses for herself or with their family members for the normal use. And she just keep on clicking the pictures and posting it. Now, when she posted those pictures, the person will see that okay, now if those designs are too old and someone likes her stitching or her work, they will give her a new design. Can you stitch this or can you do this? No, that is a change and a challenge for her. She will adapt that challenge, and if she is successful, so next time she'll just enter in her bio that I am also taking orders as your choice. That will increase its work. So she is not limited to only work she learn, but she is learning more. She is embracing change in her work. So that is a successful career. Overcoming resistance to change. One of the most common reasons why people resist change in the workplace is fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of losing control can all contribute to resistance. It's important for leaders to address these fears head on and provide reassurance that change can be a positive thing. Now, why don't we adopt changes? Because we are fear. We have fear that we may lose, or we may lose our money, or may lose our confidence even though. Now I have seen many people that who has started as a YouTuber or vlogger, I would say, or a blogger. So they have less patience. They just wanted to be famous in no time, but that cannot happen. You have to wait. You have to put aside your fears. You have to be open minded that it will take time. Just provide more and more information, more innovative ideas so that can attract people, and just be patient. From the fear of failure, you can't step back. So we have to overcome. Another reason for resistance to change is a lack of understanding or information. People may not see the need for change or may not understand how it will benefit them. Effective communication and education can help overcome this obstacle and get everyone on board with the change. Now, everything, when you want to change, you have to study. You have to see first what is it about, how we can do this. You have to make a plan. Without planning, you can't change anything. Obviously, you will fear when you don't have any backup plans or you don't have analyze it. Then the role of leadership in our lives. Who can be our role? Our teachers can be our role, our parents can be a role, or even though our friends can be a role of leadership. No, they tell us the path. The professionals, we can say, if I want to start a painting, how would I start a painting? Obviously I will see some videos, or I will follow some people who do these paintings and they tell about paintings, then I will start it. So we should have any leadership role in our life. Leadership plays a crucial role in driving changes in the workplace. Effective leaders are able to inspire and motivate their teams to embrace new ideas and ways of working. They have a clear vision for the future and are able to communicate it effectively to their team members. One important quality of a successful change leader is the ability to lead by an example. They are willing to take risk and try new things themselves, which encourages others to do the same. They also create a culture of trust and open communication, which allows team members to feel comfortable sharing their ideas and concerns. Now, let me give you another real-time example. I was watching a video sometimes before that there was a girl who was in college. She loved candles. So she learned about candles and how candles are made. How can I make different shapes? And she started from basics. Everyone around her, including her family, criticized her for saying, who will buy the candles in nowadays? It's a day of, it's the time of flashlights or emergency lights. Everyone have this. Who will buy candles from you? But she didn't get demotivated. She said, it's my passion, it's my hobby, I will do this. I have to accept it that I love this and I am willing to do this. I am willing to take the risk. She just made 6 different shapes of candles, a rose, a heart shape, and a teddy bear shape from the molds. By making those 6 candles, and she have posted their videos and pictures, she got the order of 20 candles. Because like her, as she liked candles, there can be many more people who would like candles. And she shared her story. And now after that, I can clearly see many people, and there are many websites that are selling their products openly. Many people are adapting that change, or they have that confidence, that motivation to adapt their hobby as a profession. So sharing your ideas, sharing your thought, and you should have someone as your example that you can follow, who gives you motivation. That is the role of leadership. Creating a culture of change. Now, that is really a different and difficult thing. Creating a culture of change in the workplace is essential for staying competitive and relevant in today's fast paced business world. It starts with a mindset that values innovation and continuous improvement and a willingness to take risks and try new things. Now, leadership plays a crucial role in creating this culture by setting up an example and empowering employees to take ownership of their ideas. Encourage collaboration and open communication can also foster a sense of community and shared purpose, which can help drive changes initiative forward. Now, there are so much websites. And are you okay when I'm giving you a real life example? Because I personally think that from this you can understand better. Okay? Or do you have any issue?
It's okay.
Yes, Anna?
No issue.
Okay. Are you understanding all the things? Both of you?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now how leadership plays a crucial role, because when we see someone doing their work so passionately, following their hobbies and making the hobbies a profession, and plus they are telling you the story that everyone in the start opposed them, but at the end when you succeed, they also applaud you. So that is creating a culture of change, that you should communicate or you should tell your stories if you are successful, and if you are adapting something, tell the consequences and tell the results also, who can motivate others. Measuring success. Now, how will you measure your success? First of all, I thought in business, first few time, or it can be most of the time, you have to invest only. You can't just imagine of getting profit immediately. You have to understand, you have to wait, be patient and intended, you have to make your goal. Now, measuring the success of change initiatives is crucial to understand whether or not they are achieving their intended goals. It is important to set clear and measurable goals from the outset so that progress can be tracked and evaluated. This will help to identify areas where improvements can be made, and you ensure that resources are being used effectively. Metrics for success will vary depending on the nature of the change initiative. For example, if the goal is to improve employee satisfaction, metrics could include staff turnover rates, absenteeism, and employee engagement surveys. If the goal is to increase revenue, metrics could include sales figure, customers' feedback, and market share. Whatever the metrics chosen, it is important to ensure they are relevant, achievable, and aligned with the overall goals of the organization. Now, how would you measure the success? Then, if you have launched some product and now you have to get your feedback, how much percent of the people are loving that, and how much of the people have some issue, and what are their issue, and how we can resolve it. That is your success, and if you are resolving their problems. Now, what is the conclusion? In conclusion, change is not only necessary but also critical for the success of any business. As we have seen, modern workplace that embraces new technology and adapts to changing market conditions is essential for staying competitive and improving productivity. Resisting change and standing still can lead to dire consequences. However, it is important to remember that change doesn't happen overnight. It requires effort, patience, and willingness to embrace new ideas. Effective leadership, a culture of innovation, and clear metrics for success are all crucial components of a successful change initiative. By working together and staying adaptable, we can create a workplace that is not only successful but also fulfilling and enjoyable to work in. So, what is the main conclusion? That we should take the risk of changing, but before that, we have to analyze it, we have to plan it, because change doesn't happen overnight. It requires your effort, patience, and you're willing to adapt that change. So that was the main conclusion. Carry out a change impact analysis. How can we carry out a change, and what is the impact? How what after doing analysis? First of all, who is the change going to affect? That what part we are going to change, and what will it affect? How will the change affect them, either a good or a bad? And what measures can be taken to mitigate the impact of the change? Now, first, change impact analysis, navigating the effects of change, we will see. Change is inevitable part of an organization, but it can be difficult to navigate the effects of change without a proper understanding of its impact. This is where change impact analysis comes in, by assessing the potential risk and opportunities associated with a change. Organizations can make more informed decisions about how to manage its effect. Now, change is important, but sometimes when we don't plan and we just implement the change, that is the difficult then about the effects. Then we don't know what will be the effects. Either it will be good or it will be bad, or it will make changes or not, it will improve it or not. Then understanding the impact of change is crucial for ensuring that stakeholders are prepared and able to adapt. It's important to consider not only the direct impact on individuals but also the wider implications for the organizations as a whole. By taking a holistic approach to change impact analysis, organizations can minimize negative effects and maximize positive outcomes. Now, first of all, we have to see that which part we need to change and how that change will affect. And after that, if we do it without a planning, without stakeholders, and without seeing or watching anything, without following anything, that it can be on a negative side. It can have a negative effect. But after, by taking all the approaches and when we implement changes and their impact analysis, what will their impact analysis will come out? The organization can minimize the negative effects and maximize positive outcome. Now, it's not like we will change a whole our system on a time, in one time. No, we have to change. We have to make small changings first that don't affect our reputation or our status. So there is less negative effects on our organization. Who is the change going to affect? Now, according to different organizations and companies, the effect people's are or the effect things are different. Now, change affects everyone in the organization. If the change will be good, it will also affect everyone in the organization in a good way, in a positive way. And if the change is not good for them, it will also affect everyone in the organization, but most the owner. From the top level executives to the frontline workers, it is important to identify all of the stakeholders who will be impacted by the change and consider their perspectives. This includes employees, customers, suppliers, shareholders, and other key stakeholders. Now, first of all, we have to see that why we are going to change. it will just change the owner's position, or it will provide benefit to others people also. If it is for only self, when most of the people are working around you or working with you, then it's not a positive thing. But you have to see that if our organization is having a benefit, our workers, our customers, our employees, our suppliers are having benefit also or not. If there is a whole in whole benefit, then you can call it a successful change. Each stakeholder group will have different concerns and priorities when it comes to change. For example, employees may worry about job security or changes to their daily routine, while customers may be concerned about the quality of products or services. By taking the time to understand these perspectives, the organizations can better manage the impact of change and ensure a smoother transition. Got it? Then understanding the impact of change. What is the impact of change? Change can have a profound impact on stakeholders and their work. Obviously, when we change something, it may be have a positive or a negative change, but it will impact something. It can affect their roles, responsibilities, and even their job security. For example, a change in technology may require employees to learn new skills or procedures, which can be challenging and time consuming. Now, I will talk about technology. Now, technology is like that. When you change something or you add something, you should be very careful regarding your data, personal data, or the data that cannot be shared with anyone. You should be more careful. Now, if you are changing a technology, that may require employees to learn new skills. When there is a new software, obviously you have to learn that how this software will run. If that software has any side effects, or if we press a wrong button, can it destroy our data or not? How much risky it is and how to work. First, you have to work on that thing. After that, which can be challenging and time consuming, after that you can apply the change, but that will obviously require some time to understand or to adapt that new technology. Another way that change can impact stakeholders is by changing their relationship with other stakeholders. For instance, a change in organizational structure may result in changes to reporting lines and communication channels, which can affect how stakeholders interact with each other. These are the things. Sometimes it's only you that have to be learned and change the technology, and sometimes you have to consider all of your workers, stakeholders, by changing their relationships with stakeholders. For instance, a change in organizational structure. I would rather give you an example. If you are computer teacher or you run an computer academy, now you have only one building or one room. Now you have to change it. Why? Because the students are more. There are old students and new students also, and then you also will have a new teacher that will continue with the new students, and you will continue with the current students that are going further. Now for that, now first of all, you have to buy a new room or you have to make a space. Secondly, you have to hire a new teacher. Now you will take interviews and you will see that which will be the best teacher for my students, who will match my communication or who will match my status or my education, that can teach the students well. Then assessing the impact of the change. There are several methods for assessing the impact of change, each with its own strengths and weaknesses. Now, everything, every technology or every change has its own weaknesses and strengths. One common method is to conduct a stakeholder analysis, which involves identifying all stakeholders who will be affected by the change and analyzing their perspective and interest. When you're changing something, now you have to involve those people who are getting affected by those changes. You have to see if it is a troublesome for them or not, and what are their interests. Do they want this change or not? This can help identify potential risk and opportunities associated with the change, as well as resistance that may need to be addressed. Another method is to conduct a risk assessment, which involves identifying and analyzing potential risks associated with the change. This can help identify areas where additional resources or planning may be needed, as well as potential opportunities for improvement. Finally, it is important to consider the impacts on processes and systems and assesses how these may need to be modified to accommodate the change. Then you have to see, the second thing is, first of all, you have to see that what changes are we going to do and how much risky it is. How much risk is there? You will analyze the risk first, and this will help you to identify the areas where which areas need to be changing, or which areas right now doesn't want any changing, that won't change anything if we change that, or if there is any risk for changing that. So we will see that which of the part we are focusing on. Then mitigating the impact of change. Now tell me, Zainab, what does mitigating mean, or mitigate means?
It's like
It's like that how we can make the impact of change less harm. Means there is no more risk, it can place a small harm, or it may have some of negative effects. Lesser, the amount is less. Mitigate means that it's not a high range of less, that we got negative or we will have a bad assessment. Now, change can be difficult and disruptive process, but there are strategies that can be employed to mitigate its negative effect, means to lower its negative effects. The level will be lower. For example, if 1 to 10, then there will be risk chances as a negative or a failure. There is only 2%, but 8% is our success rate. Mitigate means the lower level, and maximize the positive one. Now you have to see, does the change will lower the negative effect and maximize, what is the ratio? Our success ratio is higher or our failure ratio is higher? And then we will go for a success ratio. One effective strategy is to involve stakeholders in the change process from the beginning, providing them with a sense of ownership and investment in the outcome. Another is to provide training and development opportunities to help stakeholders adapt to the new circumstances. Additionally, effective communication and transparency throughout the change process can help build trust and reduce resistance. Our strategy should be to involve each and everyone who is participating in this change process from the beginning. Who else are getting affected by this? We have to see, we have to provide them a sense of ownership, that if you want the change or not, if you are comfortable with the change, do you have your own any interest, and this will be the outcome. Do you want this outcome, or do you want another outcome? Another is to provide training first, then you have to give the training for the change, that if this is going to be changed, then you have, your responsibility will be this, you have to be trained like this. It then and additionally, any other communication and transparency throughout the change process can help to build trust and reduce resistance. If you communicate through people, most of your problems being resolved, and that is the part where you build your trust with your other partners. Communicating change to stakeholders. Now, effective communication is crucial when managing the impact of change on stakeholders. It can help to reduce uncertainty, build trust, and ensure that everyone is on the same page. When you are working with most of the people, that is really important to communicate with your peoples who are engaged with you, who are working on you with that thing. When communicating change, it's important to be clear, concise, and consistent. Use simple language and avoid technical jargon and acronyms that may not be familiar to all stakeholders. Provide regular updates and opportunities for feedback to ensure that everyone understands the change and its impact. Any questions, Anna?
no.
Okay. Managing resistance to change. How to manage the change resistance? First of all, we have changed something. Now we have to manage its resistance. That we can work on this change, and we have all our hands on this change, and we can do it. For example, if we change something, and now if there, for example, a trouble came, and now just you are worrisome and you cancel that change. No, you have to manage that. That where is the issue? Change can be difficult for many people, and resistance to change is a common reaction. Some reasons for this resistance include fear of the unknown, lack of trust in leadership, and concerns about job security. To manage resistance to change, it is important to communicate openly and honestly with stakeholders, involve them in the change process, and provide opportunities for feedback and also the input. Other strategies for managing resistance include addressing concerns and fears directly, providing training and support to help stakeholders to adapt the change, and celebrating small success along the way. By taking a proactive approach to managing resistance, organizations can minimize its impact and help ensure the success of change initiative. Now, when you are doing any change, you have to make sure that your stakeholders or your employees trust on you. And when they do something good, please praise them, because it will motivate them to openly accept that change and to work on that change and to resist on that change. They won't fear about anything. They will be more innovative and creative mind. They will more explore more ideas. And then there is training and development. No, if there is any changing, then the training is the main process. First you have to train that person or your environment that they need to adapt that change. Training and development are essential components of managing change effectively. By providing stakeholders with the knowledge and skills they need to adapt the new environment, organizations can minimize resistance and ensure a smoother transition. It's not like that if it's there is a software and it has many parts, and you want your employees or stakeholders to immediately adapt all of them. No, you have to give them time to one by one adapt that change, and to ensure that that they understand well. Effective training and development programs should be tailored to the specific needs of each stakeholder group. For example, managers may require training on how to communicate the change to their teams, while frontline employees may need training on new process or technologies. By providing targeted training, organizations can ensure that stakeholders are prepared to navigate the changings ahead. Then there is testing and validation. Testing is done to test otherwise that the change is successful or not. That is a testing. That the series of tests is to ensure that it works as expected, it is meeting your goals or not. And what is validation? It is valid for each and every person. That change is only giving benefit to you or your company also, or your organization or your customers also. That is the changing and validation. Testing and validation are critical components of any change management process. They help to ensure that the changing is successful and that it achieves the intended goal. Testing involves putting the change through a series of tests to ensure that it works as expected, while validation involves verifying that the change meets the need of stakeholders and aligns with business objectives. Now, through testing and validation, potential risks and opportunities can be identified and interest before the change is fully implemented. This can save time and resource as well as prevent negative impacts on stakeholders. It is important to involve stakeholders in the testing and validation process, as their feedback can provide valuable insights into the effectiveness of the change. Then how would we measure the success of the change? Measuring the success of change is crucial for ensuring that the changing has achieved its intended goals and objectives or not. It allows organizations to evaluate the effectiveness of their change management strategies and identifying areas for improvement. Now you can see by that picture that before it was on 40 and the change bar is in blue, and then it has increased, and that is again the change bar, that it has changed or not. Measuring the success of a change is crucial for ensuring that the change has arrived its intended goals and objective. It allows organization to evaluate the effectiveness, that no employee will see or an organization will see either we have achieved our goal or we are going to achieve our goal or not. Even if it is 1% improvement before and after, that is a success. One method for measuring the success change is to establish a key performance indicator. They are aligned with the goals of the change initiative. KPIs should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bounded. SMART. By tracking these KPIs over time, organization can determine whether the change has been successful and make adjustments as need. What is now continuous improvement? Now, first you have changed something and you have measured the success and you have seen that no, we have success. Now you have to continuously improve in that. You don't have to stop there. Later on, there will be another changing you need to adapt. Then you also have to adapt that thing also. You cannot stop there. It is a continuous process of improvement. Continuous improvement is a vital aspect of managing the impact of change. It involves constantly evaluating and refining processes to ensure that there are efficient and effective as possible. By embracing a culture of continuous improvement, organizations can better adapt to change and ensure its long-term success. One key aspect of continuous improvement is feedback. So continuous improvement, you can see how we are improving. It's mainly it is from the feedback and the productivity. Soliciting feedback from stakeholders throughout the change process can help identify areas for improvement and ensure that the change is meeting its intended goals. Additionally, it is important to regularly evaluate the effectiveness of new processes and make adjustments as necessary. And case study. What is case study, Zainab? Do you know that?
It's like real-time examples.
Yes. Case studies, the people who has changed their environment or changed their organizations, how do they change and what are their effects? Do they have success rate higher or a negative impact? These are called case studies. In one case study, a large corporation implemented a new software system that would streamline their process and increase efficiency. However, this change would also require significant training for employees and a shift in the company culture. Now, to manage this impact of change, the company provide extensive training to employees, emphasize the benefits of the new system. They also appoint change champions with each department to help facilitate the transitions and address any concerns. That is one case study. And then another case study involved a non-profit organization. Now, see, we are going to case study on two organizations. One who has implemented a software system and they have trained their stakeholders and their employees, and they have picked up one perfect people, means the champions with each department to help to facilitate the transition and address any concern if there are any concerns. And another involved a non-profit organization that was restructuring its leadership team to manage the impact of change. The organization involves stakeholders in each decision-making process and provide regular communication about the changes. They also offered coaching and offered coaching and support to employees who were affected by the restructuring and made sure to celebrate small success along the way. Now, second, there is an organization that has no profit. How will that change? We will first change its leadership team, that who are leading them, where they are going wrong. Then we will manage the impact of change of the organization, involving the stakeholders, what they want, how much of the changings they want, what is the decision making process. We will conclude them, and then how to motivate their employees. We will celebrate small success so they could be motivated that we can do well. And then what is their conclusion? In conclusion, change impact analysis is a crucial tool for managing effective change by identifying the stakeholders who will be impacted by the change and understanding how it will affect them. First, we have to see that changing is a crucial part and how the stakeholders will be affected by our change. Organization can better prepare for potential risk and opportunities, assessing the impact of change, mitigating negative effects, communicating effectively with stakeholders, managing resistance to change, providing training in development, testing, and validation is required. Measuring success and continuous improvement are all important components of change impact analysis. And through case study, we have seen the successful implementation of the change impact analysis in real world scenarios by utilizing the strategies presented in the presentation. Organization and can navigate the effects of change, ensure its long-term success. Now, these are the references from where we have made the assignment or the slides. Now, do you have any questions, Anna?
No.
You have understand all of the slides well?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, in the next lecture, I will ask some questions also from all of the previous slides. So go through with all of the previous slides also, okay?
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.